let's talk a little bit about Oklahoma, Michigan. This was an exciting matchup, a Big Ten SEC matchup. Oklahoma was, kind of down last year for Oklahoma standards and didn't, I don't think, had the welcome into the SEC that they were maybe hoping that they were going to have. But whew, took care of business against Michigan last week, 24-13. Will, what stood out to you on this game?
John Mateer. I mean, I
Still
love
my
this
answer.
kid so much.
You've
I
been
had
on the bandwagon for a while. We'll join you now.
Oklahoma and Carolina, man. I love those two schools. Carolina's shaky, but we'll get to that in a little bit. But I mean, I had Oklahoma going 10-2 in the preseason. I thought they looked awesome this past week because Michigan defense, that's a great defense. And Mateer threw for 270 and a touchdown. He did have a pick on that one overthrow, but I mean, he also ran for 74 yards and 2 scores. Like he's such a game breaker for any opposing defense. Deion Burks looked awesome for Oklahoma out wide also. And leading up to that game, part of the reason why I liked Oklahoma so much was because you had Bryce Underwood, who is a true freshman, going on the road to play against a Brent Venables defense. Yeah. And Underwood, I do believe he has all the talent in the world, but Venables held him to 9 of 24 passing for 142 yards. Now, Justice Haynes for Michigan still did run for 125 and a touchdown, but I mean, Oklahoma's defense is still, a Brent Venables defense. So seeing their offense now also come around where they can have them both in tandem makes them incredibly dangerous. And that was I'm not sure Michigan scores 13 or less in any other game this year. Maybe Ohio State, but that game is always, 7-10. But I mean, Oklahoma looked really, really good. And I think that winning this game against Michigan was one thing. Beating them by 2 scores is seriously confidence inspiring because that team was like dealing with, the outside noise of this is a really talented roster. Could they make a run? They have to turn this around for Venables. Now it's kind of real. I think winning this game by 2 scores makes it really, really real. So there is a part of me now that's like worried about how are they going to respond with everybody telling them how awesome they are. Are they going to take the foot off the gas? But I don't think that would be a problem because of how high the stakes are for them this year. And I thought Oklahoma looked really, really good on both sides of the ball.
TJ, Oklahoma was seen as kind of a middle of the road SEC, maybe middle of the road to bottom of the pack SEC team last year. And Michigan picked off Ohio State. Michigan's been in the playoffs in recent years. Michigan has had, I guess when you cheat, it's easier to win, but they've had some success. What does this mean in the battle of which conference is superior?
Yeah, I think it's a bad matchup for Michigan. So I don't know, the SEC has done well to start this year, right? And the Big Ten hasn't really played anybody outside of Ohio State, getting their win. So I think we'll find out, as time, moves along. But, I think Michigan will probably be fine. Like I actually was fairly impressed with them. The one thing I do think that Oklahoma did really well, and since Will stole the Mateer answer, which was the only answer since you went him first. Their defensive line was still really good too. You mentioned Haynes having 125. He had a 75-yard rush, right? So you don't want to give up a massive explosive. But outside of that, he had 50 yards on 18 carries. What's that? 2 1/3 or 2 2/3 yards a rush. Like they did a good job of limiting him. And Michigan wants to run the ball, especially with a true freshman back there. I think it says more about Oklahoma than anything. And Will said, they can't let their foot off the brake. And they won't. I don't think, their schedule, as much as we've talked about Florida's schedule being tough, Auburn is ranked right now. Then they play Texas, who is ranked. Then they play South Carolina, who's ranked. Then they play Ole Miss, who's ranked. Then they play Tennessee, who's ranked. Then they play Alabama, Missouri, and LSU, who are all ranked. And so their schedule is just absolutely ridiculous. And Florida's schedule has gotten tougher too, with Florida State being Mississippi State, Kentucky stuff. But like those two schedules, my gosh. I do think that I just think it says so much about Oklahoma, right? And they were expected to win. They were a favorite. I think we all picked them in this one to win it at home. But to be as dominant as they were against a very talented Michigan defense, like this was a defense that I had a lot of I didn't have much confidence in Michigan's offense. I thought they were going to have to win this game like 17-13 or something like that if they were going to find a way to win. But for them to go up against a very good Michigan defense and Mateer look as good as he did, I'd like him to get down more. I'd like him to not take many hits throughout the year. But man, he's got that confidence and swagger that makes him look like the best quarterback out of the portal. And, against the Michigan defense, he really showed that.